Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now today's extra video is going to be a patch note breakdown. I've not done one of these in a while because the patches have been kind of small. You know, there's just been a couple things per patches. But this has actually been a pretty big one, so I like to get my teeth into it, kind of explain stuff. And also, you know, I've already read the patch notes, but it helps my mind go through them again. Because there are examples that it's like, oh, Huz, did you read the patch notes? It's like, I do, but sometimes you can't remember everything. Or example, some people like me who've played the game for years, you get set in your ways so much, and it takes me a really long time to adjust to new stuff. But anyway, it is patch 7.8. Literally today it got released, which also means the new champion Xayah Rakan will be getting released potentially by the time this video is out, if not probably tomorrow. But let's go into it. So first thing to say is some people are confused saying, is this the mid-season patch? No, mid-season patch is next patch. So that is when the Sejuani, Zac and Maokai updates are happening. If you want to read about the mid-season update, there is another whole post that Riot has done on that. And if you guys want me to do a breakdown on that, let me know in the comments and like the video, and I might do a breakdown in a few days of that. Anyway, let's get into it. So, the first thing just to say, is these new champions, Xayah and Rakan, will be coming out during patch 7.8. They never say a specific day because something could change, something could happen. They could discover a bug last minute and then they just delay the release. Most likely, though, they will be released, you know, again, roughly the time of me uploading this video. They may have already been released, or if not, the next day or two. But yeah, they should be released. That's pretty fine. And then let's go into the actual first champion update that is receiving rework or, you know, little buffs and nerfs. So, Aatrox, just as a quick description of what they're doing to him. Hellbent attack speed up and now refreshes on monsters, and W missing health heal is up as well. So if we go into the actual thing itself, passive Blood Well, he's got a new thing on it, which is monstrous determination. Hellbent now refreshes while fighting monsters, so it gives him even more attack speed as well. So what does this mean? Potentially they're trying to make him a jungler, not a top laner. Maybe they, again, don't really know what to do with Aatrox. I, for a while, have said he's in the type of champion, the type of area that Gangplank used to be in. That Gangplank used to not have a specific role. You could play Gangplank in many different ways, and because there were so many ways to play Gangplank, there wasn't really a strong way, and I think that's the same with Aatrox. You can play tank Aatrox, you can play damage Aatrox, but if you do either of those, or if you go damage, you're just going to get one shot. If you go tank, you'll do no damage. If you try to do hybrid, you're not going to be tanky, you're not going to do damage. That's his problem. So maybe they're trying to shift him away from top lane where he's struggling and put him into the jungle. And then on top of that, Bloodthirst, instead of now having 5% of Aatrox's missing health, which I presume is the W proc every third auto attack, you get that effect. It is now 6.5. So again, further helping his sustain with on top of that attack speed. So yeah, it potentially could be a jungler. Just to also add, I believe, and I could be wrong, but monsters are not minions. I think monsters are specifically in the jungle, and if they were to include minions in this, they would mention minions. So I don't think this helps his lane phase basically at all. So anyway, let's continue. Amumu, so passive now a true damage and passive numbers down. So some say, is this a nerf? Not really. Again, whenever you're talking about true damage, that is true damage that affects armor and MR. No resistances get affected, or this damage, you know, resistances don't help. So if we go into his passive, Cursed Touch, so they are removing 15% of the magic damage dealt, calculated after damage was reduced by magic resist. So everybody was like, oh, Amumu's going to be back when this change was implemented. Yeah, I haven't seen one Amumu in high rating yet. Like, it's still Amumu. They haven't changed his kit as such. He's still stupidly easy to beat in the early game and relatively easy to avoid in late game. So it hasn't changed what Amumu is. If anything, it's probably going to help him where he's actually good in, like, bronze to gold. But they're getting rid of that AP scaling, and now they're doing 10... Oh, they get rid of the AP damage. Now they've introduced it as 10% of magic damage dealt, calculated before that damage was reduced by magic resist. So, yeah, it's now true damage. I guess that will help him to a certain extent. Because I don't like... Again, it's a Amumu. I don't really know what to say about him. The people that play a Amumu and build full AP, you're completely playing the wrong style of a Amumu. And... basically, this was just trying to help him have his natural build that may have built one AP item it was just to help him do a little bit more with that natural build, was still being a tank. Some people took this the complete wrong way and started building AP on him, and it's not been going well. So now that it's true damage, maybe people will revert back to going tank, and yeah, that'll be better. And then W, the despair percentage or percent health damage has gone down. So again, another nerf. So he does less percentage health damage. So if he's in the middle of a team fight, he's not going to be doing as much. So if this doesn't scream out go tank, not damage, I don't know what else would. So anyway, next champion is Ivan. A single brush no longer blocks vision of epic monsters. So not a bad change, to be honest. So if you have ever played against an Ivan or with an Ivan and he puts a bush or brush, whatever they want to call it, on the dragon, on the baron, that with just one of them would usually block the vision for the enemy team. They're making this change that he actually has to invest more brushes onto these monsters, as he probably should, because sometimes the brush doesn't cover the whole monster, but it blocks the vision. So this obviously is just a quality of life change that I think is perfectly fine. Karthus, so a champion that is relevant to me. Let's see what it does. Is Karthus. Q casting made more fluid. Let's go on to the lay waste. So Q lay waste. Again, if you ever want to pause this, feel free, or you can go into the client and click patch notes yourself. But lay waste, or lay away, lay waste. Lay waste can now be buffered. Cast's input as lay waste explodes will now automatically fire once lay waste comes off cooldown, unless Karthus cancels the command. Okay, so they're queued up. So what this means is if you're pressing Q as Karthus and you press it before the next time you actually can Q, it will go off straight away anyway without you having to press Q again. If that's what I'm understanding, which they're saying is going to just help him basically be machine gun Karthus, so there's no delay on when the next Q becomes available, which could help. You know, even if what people say is like, surely this is just milliseconds different. Yes, it is, and this is why so many people go, oh, your MS doesn't really matter, or your screen MS doesn't really matter. Milliseconds add up. Like, if you take all the milliseconds that you potentially could gain and do better with, that adds up to, you know, 0.1 of a second. And that 0.1 of a second, that could make the difference between killing somebody and not killing somebody, especially the higher rating you get. So that seems to be quite a good change with Karthus. I'll be actually looking forward to play him now and see what it feels like, what the difference actually feels like. So that'd be cool. Lysandra, so kind of a forgotten mid laner for most of the time, but very occasionally she becomes really popular. Q damage scaling up, passive cooldown down at later levels. Okay. So passive, Iceborne. Cooldown used to be 18, I think, seconds at all ranks, but now it is 18, 15, 12, 9 seconds at their respective levels. So, you know, 1, 6, 11, 16. And then fixed a bug that caused Iceborne's cooldown not to be reduced when Ring of Frost killed a unit. So her Iceborne, from memory, was a free spell, I think. I think it's a free spell. That you can cast without having any mana cost. So that's cool. That will help in late game because, yeah, she's a champion that doesn't crazy build a lot of mana regen items. Maybe one, like Morellonomicon. After that, not much. So that will help with her late game a lot. It's just, you know, every 9 seconds, so doubling down on how often you're getting that free spell. That's kind of nice. And then Ice Shard, instead of a 0.65 ability power, is now 0.7. Again, some people who are newer to the game or have less understanding will go, a 0.5 AP difference, like what's the point? Again, it adds up. You know, that extra scaling over a time of 5 times you hit a champion with Q, that's going to do, you know, 100 extra damage, and that 100 extra damage could get a kill. Like, these all mean quite a lot. They're never like nothing. And they do seem like a small amount, and they are, but it's a big change. Next thing is Malzahar. Armor down, Voidling health down. Well, they're still nerfing Malzahar? What the hell? So they gutted this champion, and he is not played anymore, and they are still nerfing him, which is surprising. So his armor was 20, it's now 18. Like I mentioned, again, small amounts, but it's more than you think. And then W, Void Swarm, also their health is down. Wait, seriously? His Void now only have 2 health each? And, well, sure, the gold reward is less, but damn, 2 health on each Void. I guess that's okay, but I feel sorry for Mal's players if there's still any exist, but yeah. All right, Nautilus. So I used to play quite a lot of Nautilus top. I've kind of moved away from playing tanks. Maybe I should go back to them because I used to do quite well on them. Mana regen per level decreased. E-mana cost increased. So base mana regen has gone down, and also mana cost on E has gone up. So basically they're saying, hey, you can bully people way too easily for a tank in lane phase. Let's make you worry about your mana more. Not a bad change. What it will do, most likely, will force Nautiluses maybe, instead of rushing the Sunfire, like, straight away, what it could do is make many Nautiluses, if they're against an AD champion, just rush a Glacial Shroud and just leave it there, and then go into the Sunfire. So just to get that extra mana, and then whether you go, if you're doing well, then sure, go into the Iceborne Gauntlet and get extra mana with the Sheen. If not, just go into the Sunfire with a Glacial and you'll have extra mana anyway. So that's basically what I would think people are going to do. Rise Q cooldown resets on WE cast not hit. Wait, really? Q Overlord. Cooldown resets now occurs when Rune Prison or Spell Flux are cast, rather when they hit their targets. Wow, they are trying to help Rise. So this basically, if you don't know what this means, so Rise is known as Machine Gun Rise. Whenever he hits all his abilities, they chain off each other, they reset their cooldowns off each other the more time he hits people. Which is weird because they're implementing this change that you could W somebody, Rune Prison them, throw E on them, miss your Q, but it doesn't matter because your Q will reset again. That's insane. Okay. They by the way, the reason why they're doing this, and some people be like, why are they... what? They've reworked Rise more than any other champion in the game, and they never can get him right. So they're trying to probably just make him strong with his current kit so they don't have to do another rework on him. Now, some people may also ask, why do they do so many reworks on Rise? It's not confirmed, but I do have a small theory. So the two owners or ex-owners of Riot, and they still, I believe, run... I still believe they run the company. They just don't own it anymore, is Tryndamere and Rise, Mark Merrill and Jason Beck. And both of them have their own champions, Rise and Tryndamere. So I don't know why Tryndamere's still in a kind of poop state for the most part. Like, to the average player, nobody touches Tryndamere. Only really one-tricks do. But Rise, they've always had like a... I don't know. They've always wanted to make Rise better. Always. And I expect another rework to come soon, to be honest. Shen. Q does less damage to minions, but more to champions. R shield scales with missing health. Wow, okay. So Q... So there's a lot of changes here, and I like Shen, so I think he's pretty good. Again, I think he's a better champion in higher rating than lower rating. But let's go into it. So Q, Twilight Assault, empowered auto attack damage, deals now so less against any enemy, but then Monstrous Determination deals double damage to monsters. Still has a cap though. Wait, what? Oh, I see. Oh, right. I got it. So this Q damage, empowered auto attack bonus, was this against non-champions. So you only ever got the increased damage against non-champions. They've now done it to everything. Any enemy. So whether it's a minion, whether it's a champion, whether it's a jungle thing, it's an enemy. It now does bonus damage. So that's kind of nice. And then it does double damage to monsters. Again, I don't know the wording if it's minions counters monsters. Like, I wouldn't think so, but maybe now. Like, reading this, it would be weird if his damage, it doesn't double damage against minions. But maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Okay, E, his taunt now costs less energy, which is good because, you know, half of your energy bar was taken up by a taunt. That was kind of, or more than half was taken up by a taunt. That was a lot. And also, the width has gone up. So they thought it was probably a bit too streamlined. So now it's 120 range from 100. So that's also nice. It will help you land them easier. So that's cool. And then finally, his ultimate, Stand United. So the cooldown has gone up. Yep. Wow, it's gone up. And then the shield has gone down. Yeah, it's gone down. But then scaling has gone up from the allies' current health. So this is basically rewarding Shens for ulting low health targets and to trying to keep them alive. The later you leave it, the less health they're on, the more shield that they'll get. So that's interesting. Oh dear. So again, just to say, I do go through these as much detail as I possibly can, because if you guys don't read the patch notes, at least you can just listen and watch this video. That's kind of my thought process. Again, it also helps me process the patch too. So Udyr, have not seen this champion in a very long time, thank God. I just dislike playing with or against this champion because it forces a very certain playstyle that I personally don't enjoy. So anyway, Q and W now have effects every 3 hits and ability mana costs adjusted. General ability costs, so they have gone relatively unchanged. They're more expensive in early game and slightly less expensive in late game, but not by much. But again, every little counts. You know, the more you change stance in the early game, the more you're going to go Q, Tiger Stance, removed bonus attack damage, so that's gone. New, repeated maulings, Udyr's first and every third basic attack after while a Tiger Stance Tiger Strikes, applying the stance damage over time effect. Tiger Strike damage is a 30, 60, 90, 120 over 2 seconds. So example, if you attack somebody with a Tiger Q, it'll do a dot in rank 1 for 30 damage over 2 seconds. So that's interesting. Go for the throw. Successive Tiger Strikes against the same target will instantly deal all the remaining damage of the previous instance in addition to applying a new one. Whoa, okay, that's actually kind of big. So what that means, and I might need to sneeze. I think I'm okay. Okay, I'm okay. Is basically if you are just mauling somebody with Tiger Stance and every third auto attack it puts a dot on somebody, they're saying that if you get back to the third auto attack before the dot has finished, it will instantly deal that remaining dot damage remaining and then apply a new one. That's actually a lot of damage if he can actually keep on the same target. But obviously that's Udyr's weakness, is that he's very easily kited. So it's going to be hard for him to do that. But if he does manage it, that's an insane amount of damage. So that's interesting. W, Turtle Stance, no longer gives lifesteal, so that's interesting. But new, slow and steady. Udyr's first and every third basic auto, like before, heals him for 2.5% of his maximum health, increasing it up to 5% based on Udyr's missing health. So the lower health he is, the more health he's going to gain back. And it's also not on his current health, it's on maximum health. So you'll be healing the more health you have. So the more health items you buy, the more you'll get from that Turtle Stance. So there you go. Howling Abyss. We'll just quickly go over this quickly. Obviously, it's ARAM map. So gold has gone down. Removed items, they're gone. So no longer gold generating items. Health relics are quicker to spawn. Assists. 20 seconds now you get experience in gold for helping, and not 10 like the normal in Summoner's Rift. And also turrets, if you've helped with getting a turret, it's now 30 seconds if you just auto-attacked it, not 10. So that's interesting. Minion spawns are quicker. Wave spawns are quicker, so more minions come quicker. They're basically, from what I'm understanding here, trying to speed up the ARAM games. Maybe they don't want them to be over 20 minutes. Maybe they want them to be 15 minutes, and that's what they're doing here. So this, by the way, there are very hardcore ARAM players. That's literally the only game mode they play. This is literally a massive change for this game mode. Like, it's huge. It's probably the biggest one it's been since the release of ARAM. Maybe the snowballs, but this is pretty big. Super minions, base armor is huge, and attack damage is huge. And new inspired champions and minions gain 20% out of combat movement speed. So yeah, they are really wanting this game to go quick. They are just making this stuff quick. When you have super minions, they do more. They take more damage from towers, more armor, more attack damage, so they'll smash turrets quicker. That's actually a pretty big change. And then recall, pull party, sure, and then poros. Sure, I don't exactly know what all those poros are. You just get different ones? Poros no longer begin the game hidden in bush or brush. Wanderer poros now wander around the map in their own accord. Poro smell detection. Okay, they're just gimmicky stuff, I guess. Rank 3's map. So what are they doing in this? Death timers slightly longer earlier, slightly shorter later. Okay, experience champions now kills grant 10% less experience for each level higher you are than the enemy slain, capping at 50%. So they're trying to make this a less snowboardy map, from what I can understand. They're still giving super minions and stuff like crazy good stuff, but yeah, they're trying to make it less snowbally. But I'll say, I don't really care about the Rank 3's map. I play it very occasionally, but it's nice to see them actually doing something with it. They have not touched this game mode, Rank 3's, for over a year, roughly, like properly. It's nice to see that it's getting a little bit of love, because although I'm not their demographic, there again are people that play rank 3s as their main map, their main game mode. Like me, I'm mainly a ranked player in solo queue. There are mainly ranked players in 3s. They do exist, and it's nice that they're actually getting some attention. And then, so if you want to go read that personally, I'd recommend looking at it yourself. Masteries, so only one change is Storm Raiders. Is now a surge VFX, and now has a louder visual effect when it activates, because, you know, sometimes people don't know when Storm Raiders is actually popping. Now you might hear it, so there you go. Jungle, Mini Krugs gets gets back in your cave. Mini Krugs now leash back to their nook, and not to the place they fell that their parent died. Okay, that's kind of nice. So you know that little cave where the Krugs, the golems, are? Whenever you got them, like say if you're killing them but you're very low health and you can't finish the camp, and there's a few of those little ones left, before they just kind of waited around because wherever they dropped after the rock exploded, they just stay there. Now they will actually go back into that little cave, even the small ones. So that, whatever. And then Rift Scuttler now submerges a bit more slowly, allowing hit VFX for things that killed her to play. Okay, cool. Ward Death Audio. Wards now play the gold gain sound when killed, okay? And loot, what's in the bags? The description for Hextech chests in the loot menu now displays the possible contents inside. Okay, that's cool. So, depending how many loot there is, you can actually see. Rotating game modes for upcoming patch is Legend of the Poro King. And that's probably it, I think, for this patch. Yep, okay, there you go. And then League Client Update. There's also some fixes and stuff like that. If you want to read them, feel free. Queue health update is also interesting. So there is a tick on solo queue, a tick on flex queue. So basically they just do updates of how are both queues going, because they have or did have concerns basically saying when we introduce solo queue back, will flex queue die? Doesn't look for it right now, which is also going back to the point last year when they said we don't want to bring back solo queue because we don't know if flex will continue. It just showed how bad last season was, because both queues can survive together, and there was no reason to remove solo queue last year. So that was just a pointless season, basically. But obviously, some people like me, I do miss ranked 5s. You know, I play with my friends who have a very vast skill range, and I have had to play on 4 different accounts of mine to play flex with them, because I always get rated way too high after placements. And finally, my teammates, friends, have caught up to where my main account can play with them, but not very soon. My main account right now is Platinum 2 in Flex Queue. We play very casually in Flex, but when that account gets Diamond, I won't be able to play on my main account with my friends anymore, because some of them are in Gold, and it's just like, this is such a pain. I'd rather just a ranked 5s environment that I can play with them, or the vice versa. And again, it goes to... there's always going to be a problem with flex queue when it comes with boosting, because what would be great would be the Counter-Strike technique, is where if you are a full pre-made, then it shouldn't matter what rank you are. But then again, that helps with people that want to boost people, because that also obviously happens. Anyway, bug fixes. Again, there's all bugs. If you want to have a specific champion, like, oh, I wish that bug gets fixed, feel free to pause. I'm not going to go through them all. Upcoming skins. So we've got the 2 for Rakan and Xayah. We've got the Cosmic Blade Master Yi, which honestly is a very good skin. I probably won't buy it because I never see myself playing Yi. And Conqueror Karma. So there you go, guys. That is patch 7.8. So some interesting changes, some good changes, like, you know, quality of life ones, making champions stronger, and also, like, honestly, I just like kind of seeing them in a weird way. Even though I'm not a rank 3s player, it's nice to see them actually care about that map, which I don't know. I like that. So if you guys did enjoy this video, throw a like on it. If you've got any questions or any just comments, discussion about the patch, let me know in the comment section below. And then also just say, if you made it to the end of the video, this I believe is the final day for the shirt, the Huzzy Cannon shirt, on sale. So if you did get one, thank you very much. And then there was one other thing. Oh yeah, if you want me to go over the mid-season website and talk about that, let me know that as well. So again, like it, subscribe. See you guys next time. See ya.